Welcome to video number 2. This is Excel 101. Excel is one of the most widely used software applications around the world. Literally hundreds of millions of people around the world use Excel. Now, there are alternatives to Excel, such as OpenOffice and other softwares out there, but we believe that Microsoft Excel is one of the great softwares, more powerful ones, for spreadsheets, and not only that, for accounting and for every type of business, even restaurants and everything like that. So don't feel like just because you're not in the finance or accounting industry and that you're not dealing with a lot of numbers that you can't use Excel. For example, in many cases, if you have an email list or even a customer-based list of people, you can use Excel to clean your list. So a lot of the functions that I'm going to show you later on, that is actually really good for that. So when you learn these functions, once you have learned them, you can apply them to different scenarios. And that's really why I want you to follow me step by step along the way. So first and foremost, I want to give you a bigger picture. The general idea of what you can manipulate in Excel. So you can manipulate everything from words to text to numbers to formulas, and more on that later, into tables and graphs, diagrams, charts, images, and many more. So if you can take what you've learned in this video course and then apply that to your business, as long as you understand how to manipulate these specific things, then you can apply it to many different scenarios. So here's what the spreadsheet is going to look like, as you can see here. So we have columns up here, we have rows down here, we have worksheets, and then we have tabs. And then of course we have cells. So if I go back over to this worksheet right here, and we go to the first sheet, which is sheet 1, we can see that everything up at the top are columns. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, those are columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the numbers are rows. And then of course, each of these are cells, these little boxes here. And the whole thing is a worksheet. And then of course, we have tabs, which you can see it's color coded. Sheet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and more. So all these sheets actually pertain to what I'm about to teach you, and the sheet is here so that you can follow along step by step. Once you're able to do this and you apply it yourself, it's going to be able to retain inside of your memory, and that's really the whole goal. So if you can pause this video and you can actually follow through and open up your workbook and look through it and just make sure that you understand the basics, that is going to be great. Now, when I talked about rows earlier, you can actually move them, as you can see here. So if I want to expand them, so if we go to sheet 1 and I want to expand the row, I can just move it until I see this icon here, and then I can move it and expand the height of the row. Now, same thing with the column. If I want to expand the width of the column, I can expand that. And as you can see, I've done that with column B. And that just helps make things a lot easier. You can do things like wrap around text, so it wraps it around, but it just makes things easier just to be able to do that. Now, obviously, this is a lot of the basics, but like I said, we're going to move into more advanced strategies later on. So just bear with me for now. So we got cells like we talked about earlier. We have the vertical lines marked by letters, and of course you can drag those. And then of course at the very bottom, you're going to see the different tabs. And the nice thing about tabs is once you have added something in an individual sheet, it's good to create new tabs to keep things organized. So let's say, for example, that you have a list of customers, but you want to break it down to maybe male, to maybe female, to the maybe specific age, maybe specific location. So you could create different tabs for different scenarios. And that's what helps keeps things really, really organized. So as far as formulas go, it always starts with the equal sign. So all the formulas that we show you will start with the equal sign. So that's kind of telling Excel, hey, I want to enter a formula. So this is going to execute a command to automate your report. And we're going to talk about that later on. You can also add shapes and text inside of a shape. So I'm going to show you this. Up at the top, we have the Excel toolbar. And if you click on Insert, Shape, and Text Box, you can actually customize shapes or text. So if we go over here and we click on Insert, and we look over here, this looks a little bit different than what you're seeing over here. So we made sure that we included these right here just in case you are using kind of an outdated version. So if you're using something like 2007 or something of that nature, then you're going to see this. So you're going to insert and click on shape and box. But if you're utilizing something of a newer system, then you click on insert, and it's going to be located under insert, but it's going to be in picture form. So for example, if we wanted to insert shapes, we could click on this icon here, pick and choose the shapes that we want. So for example, if we want a rectangle, we can insert that into here. And then if you double click it, we can change different colors, change effects, we can change the outline, we can even change the filling of it. And then of course, if you want to insert text into the box, you have to go to insert and text. And this is going to be what it is. And we have to click inside the box, and then it will allow you to enter whatever text that you want. Like so. And then of course, you can expand it by going to home and make the text a lot bigger. You can change the font of the text, and you can make it smaller. You can bold it, italicize, underline it, and pretty much anything that you can do to text, you can do here as well. So we can center line that, and there we go. So that's pretty basic, but I wanted you to know that there are different versions of Excel, like I said earlier. So what you see may be slightly different, but as you know, and as you can see here, that even though the different versions are different, they are still underneath each section for the most part. So under insert, we have shape and text. Even though our version is pictures and icons, it is still under the insert section. And that's really what I wanted to show you with this example, was so that you do not get lost. And as you can see, we have the box here. We saw the exact same view as we did with what we saw on my computer. So we also have effects as well. We have shadow effects, reflection effects, glow, bevel, and 3D motion. We can go under insert, and we can find those here as well. Now, there might be some slight changes, but for the most part, very, very similar for the most part. And then under effects, you can also change shadow, reflection, glow, bevel, 3D, and so forth. So as you can see, this is actually quite basic stuff. So we're going to start moving on, and gradually over time, I'm going to show you some a little bit more advanced, but then a lot more advanced once you understand the fundamentals. So let's move on to video number 3.